Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in the meantime we have arrived in Horgen. Horgen, this town near the lake, has about 20,000 inhabitants. And in Horgen there is an international company, the Dow Chemical, with about 250 employees. Ladies and gentlemen, may I ask you not to eat on the bus, please?
Okay.
And maybe you have seen around the lake, a lot of people live around the lake, and as I already told you, it's quite expensive. And I have to mention that about 80% of the population of Zurich, of the canton of Zurich, live in flats. And you see here new flats opened about 2 years ago. Here they pay for 100 square meter, minimum 2,500 francs. And there are flats where you pay 2,000 to 4,000 francs for about 100 to 120 square meters. Here in Horgen there is a museum of coal mines. In former times Horgen was well known for its coal mines, and the museum could be visited on request. But now back to living around the lake. The annual salary in Switzerland is about 60,000 francs. A shop assistant earns about 3,500 francs. An employee of a bank has about 6,500 to 7,500 francs. For tax we pay between 10-20%, but tax, that's a matter of the cantons, and not everywhere you pay the same tax. Something very expensive for us is the insurance. For insurance we pay about 20% of our salary. The main thing is the health insurance, household, pension, fire, car insurance. Every second citizen in Switzerland has a car. And of course the living costs are maybe not that high in very small places, but the salaries are not that high then. In Zurich and Geneva they are the highest salary. We are now on the way to the highway, and therefore I would like to ask you again, have you fastened the seatbelt? Yeah, that's very important. We're taking the highway that goes from Zurich to the eastern part of Switzerland, to the southern part of Switzerland, and later on to Italy or Austria. Of course, we take it the other direction Zurich. And there is a speed limit on highways of 120 kilometers, 75 miles. And everybody who likes to use the highway in Switzerland has to buy a vignette. A vignette, that's a sort of a sticker. It costs 40 francs. We buy the sticker at the beginning of the year, and we have it until the 31st of December. But when tourists come to Switzerland during the year, they have to buy this ticket, or this sticker at the same price of 40 francs. Switzerland has a population of 8.3 million. 24% of them are foreign people. These people, they work in the constructions, in the hospitals, restaurants, hotels, and they're specialists too, working in large companies or in hospitals like doctors and nurses. Many of them come from Germany. Switzerland is composed of 26 cantons. Cantons are small states. Canton of Zurich, Canton of Geneva, Canton of Bern, and so on. And in most cases, the capital has the same name like the canton. So we say Zurich and Canton of Zurich, Geneva, Canton of Geneva. There are a few exceptions. For instance, Canton Uri, capital Altdorf. The cabinet, or the Federal Council of Switzerland, consists of 7 members. And one of these members is our president. Every year a new president is elected. At the moment there is a man, the president of Switzerland, Mr. Schneider-Ammann. And at the moment we have 5 men and 2 women in the Federal Council. 2 years ago it was otherwise, and a woman was then the president. The parliament is divided in 2 chambers, having equal rights: the National Council and the Council of the States. The National Council represents the population, the Council of the States, the small cantons. Switzerland is covered by 15,000 square miles, 41,000 square kilometers, and 3/4 of them are productive. The rest are mountains and lakes. And in Switzerland we have about 600 lakes, the very small ones not counted. Maybe you have seen at the park floor, passing cars, next to the official Swiss number plate, you see from time to time 2 letters, the CH. CH doesn't mean chocolate, doesn't mean cheese. CH, that's the international sign of Switzerland. And it means in Latin words, Confederatio Helveticae, the Confederation of the Helvetics. It is written in Latin words because 3 of our 4 official languages derive from the Latin. And the most spoken language in Switzerland, that's a dialect of German. When we go to school, we have to learn first High German, the same German that is spoken in Germany. But to each other, we are speaking dialect. 20% is French, spoken in the western part of Switzerland. French, that's the second language children have to learn at school when they're 11 years old. A third language is Italian, spoken in the southern part of Switzerland. 7% of Italian includes the people from Italy who work in Switzerland too. Less than 1%, that's Ritto-Romansch, a very old Latin language spoken in the southeast part of Switzerland, for instance, near the ski resort St. Moritz. Ritto-Romansch is very similar to Latin languages. For instance, when they say sleep well, they say dorma bene. The Spanish say duerma bien. The Italians say dorma bene. You see, it's very similar. As I said, it's a Latin language. And these people have, can easily learn other Latin languages. Of course, to communicate with people from the Italian or French part of Switzerland, of course, when we still know French because we learned it at school, then we can communicate in French with them. Or the French people, the French-speaking part, they also have to learn German at school. Nowadays, it has changed a little bit. Young people, they prefer to learn English better because in the school they also have lesson in English. And so they prefer English and they don't like to learn French. Not all of them, but they think English is much cooler. And so it can happen that we have to help out with some English. When I was young, it was just normal, it was the use that after school you went to the French part of Switzerland for learning French better, or I myself, I was in France for a year, and so we learned French quite well. But nowadays, these young people, they want to go to Australia for English, not really to England, no, Australia or to other places. Yeah, of course, everything in computer, the computer is in English, computer language is in English. I can understand that they prefer to learn English better, but even it's one of our languages, French. Of course, they still have to learn it at school, but when they don't practice, they forget. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in the meantime, we have arrived in Adliswil. Adliswil has about 18,000 inhabitants. It's a suburban town of Zurich, and that's the place where we're going to take the aerial cable car. And here we're crossing River Sihl, S-I-H-L, and that's the second river of Zurich I mentioned at the beginning of our tour. S-I-A-L, S-I-H-L, pardon me. And River Seal, we have come to the valley of River Seal. And there is also a train that passes through here, the Seal Valley train, one of these suburban trains. And most of the working people who live in this town of Adliswil work in Zurich. They can reach Zurich by these S trains. There is every 15, respectively 30 minutes, a train to Zurich from the suburban towns to Zurich. Then you see here Migros. Migros, that's a store chain all over Switzerland. You can see, you can find small Migros, 1M, then 2M with restaurants, 3M with fun, with sport equipments, and 4M plus furniture. Yeah, well known over Switzerland. Migros has its own brand. Ladies and gentlemen, we have soon reached the aerial cable car, and we have to go twice, 2 times. And that means we'll have to divide the group. I will go with the first ones. I will wait for the second ones on the top. On the top, it's possible to do a small walk to the restaurant. And there is time now when we're up there. People are really hungry. Of course, not a big meal, but maybe French fries or maybe a sandwich you can order, and maybe one drink, but not a big meal. Of course, they're not prepared. That goes too long. And when you go to this restaurant, even people who don't like to have something in the restaurant, you can come inside. These people are very friendly. You need to stay in the rain and wait. No, that you haven't. You can come in. You can come inside, and you can go to the buffet, directly to the buffet. Don't go to a table and wait at the table till you get served. No, when they see that you have a sticker. And when you lost the sticker, then you say you're the group from Best of Switzerland to us. But and they will serve you at the buffet. Okay, let's have a shower. Oh, I forgot my umbrella in the train today. Okay, let's go. Rain makes beauty and young. Okay.